I don't know if Jeff Gordon had a problem there, if it's just in that corner, but he's really slowed up.
Harvick, your leader, is pulled away by a handful of car lengths, and there's side by side again. Boyer now coming back on the high side.
You see on the left side there, Jeff Gordon, you see him backing off the gas, getting in the corner. He's definitely holding this group up. Don't know whether he's got a problem or just this set of tires is not agreeing with him.
The Allmendinger slide up in front of.
Take us a flag. Let's come on a pit. We'll get the wave by. Don't wreck the thing.
That was Steve Letarte.
Guys, for the first time in this race, Jeff Gordon is going backwards. He just came on the radio and told his crew, I think I might have a flat. Be ready. They are watching him closely. As you guys said, he does have an issue.
Well, the last thing he wants to do is pit without a flat tire, but you don't want to wreck the car.
Yeah, sometimes you get yourself up there, as we see Montoya and Jimmy Johnson still battling for that third spot here. Montoya's come on like he was shot out of a cannon here.
Juan Pablo Montoya knows that I know you want to win a championship, but I want to win a race on an oval. I've only got one win in Cup, and that came at Infineon on the road course.
Man, I know Jimmy wants to be aggressive, but this is not a guy to be messing with this part of the race.
Let's update Montoya. Shannon.
The team is also keeping their eye on Tony Stewart and the 14 car. They want to finish in the top 5, mainly because, guys, there's a bonus for the guys back at the shop if they do finish in the top 5, and the team really wants to be rewarded for this season. But Juan Pablo Montoya, a little under the weather this weekend, despite being home and having so many family and friends here. He actually received an IV last night. But you know what they say? Sometimes we see drivers actually have better races when they're not feeling good.
Indeed, Shannon, you sort of find something extra when you're not feeling that well, and just make it happen as now Montoya goes sailing by the 33 car of Boyer for second position.
Yeah, look, right behind Boyer's Jeff Burton. That gives Richard Childress Racing 3 of the top 4 spots right now.
Jeff Burton was the fastest car in happy hour in final practice here on Saturday. He qualified poorly back in 26th position, which is sort of typical for Jeff Burton, but he doesn't stay there very long.
They'll say poorly. He might not think that's true. Poorly on
there. Jimmy getting loose off turn 2.
Yeah, the 48 car getting a little sideways. Everybody getting racing. Now Burton goes down and will take that spot away from Boyer, third position.
See another car there, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin. He had a qualifying effort that put him way back too. Now he's made his way up into the top 10 already, up into the 8th spot.
Yeah, Hamlin started back in 38th position.
I can't remember a mile and a half that we've seen race this good lately. It's a great race.
It's all over the place here. I mean, it just, you know, there's so many grooves here, and you get your car hooked up, man, just makes it great. A lot of fun for the drivers.
You mentioned they changed this configuration entering the 2003 season here to add the progressive banking, and it's really changed the racing here.
It has, and the drivers all like it, but I think the biggest thing is it has changed the racing. We didn't see this much passing in an entire 400-mile event when the track was a lot flatter than this.
And give a call to Goodyear, by the way. They brought a new left side tire here, that not one they had run last year, the one they ran at Texas, Andy, that added a lot of grip for these cars.
Yeah, they brought a better left side tire. It has a little more grip, a little softer left side, and that's really, I think, enhanced this racing we're seeing. I think that's a big reason for it.
I can tell you, Jimmy Johnson, we look here, Tony Stewart to the outside, Denny Hamlin to the inside. That's not a position he wants to put himself in.
That's 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th on your screen. And Jimmy Johnson right there in the eye of the storm behind the 2 car and right in front of Tony Stewart. Again, if you just joined our coverage, Jimmy Johnson did lead early, so he's gotten the bonus points for leading a lap. He only has to finish 27th or better to win the championship.
See the run there that you get up high as Tony Stewart really makes that run down the back straightaway to take that spot away from Jimmy Johnson.
We might mention Jeff Burton now starting to ease in on the second place car of Juan Pablo Montoya.
Yeah, he's been beside Montoya a couple of times now on this bottom of the racetrack, but Montoya's using that high side to power by on the straightaways.
Right side of your screen, you see Jimmy Johnson there running. That is 6th and 7th, Boyer and Johnson.
Now these two racing for second are actually catching Kevin Harvick, who's got clear racetrack around him, no traffic at all. They're actually racing each other and running faster lap times.
We were talking about Jeff Gordon earlier, too, as we watched these battles, but apparently he has no tire issue. It's just a matter of his car was extremely loose or something on that restart. He's fallen back to 15th, but he is running some pretty competitive times right now.
31 car just can't quite get it to stick coming up off the corner. And watch Jimmy Johnson now will try to go in on the inside and make this pass. Johnson being aggressive here in the first 100 laps.
Well, that's what he does best, is be aggressive.
We talk about Mr. Aggression so far, the 88 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., who had brushed the wall in the first 30 laps and actually got up against the wall just a few laps ago. But still has a fast race car. You may not be able to see the number, but he's still coming.
Guys, I'm watching outside right now. The sun's starting to really set here. I don't see any sunshine on this track at all. And Junior's car was really good earlier, but now this track is starting to get hooked up a little bit better. Different people are running up front now, and I really think that's the reason Junior's complained about a tight race car now from what he had when he started.
Yeah, another reason he might be complaining about a tight race car is he's been banging that wall. That can't be a helpful situation.
Yeah. As we look here, this is where he got into the wall again. And you're going to take a chance. You're just not doing much damage to these cars, though. But one thing that got him probably a tighter race car is they had a 16-second pit stop that got him back in traffic after that restart.
He gets passed again there by Greg Biffle, and Rusty makes a comment, and Ray Evernham also said in Countdown, a very temperature-sensitive racetrack. It doesn't take much for this track to totally change.
Doesn't take much, and these crew chiefs are going to have to really be thinking what they're going to do to try to keep up with this. As Ray said just a little bit ago, you don't want to make a huge swing at it, but you're going to have to make adjustments probably for the next 3 pit stops before you're going to get a track that's going to be pretty much the same the rest of the night then.
And here's the 18 car who was crowned the NASCAR Nationwide Series champion, Kyle Busch, trying to work his way toward the top 10.
34 cars hit the wall pretty hard.
That'll bring out caution for the second time today. Now that contact there could be devastating for Brad Jenkins, who owns this car, because you got to be in the top 35 in owner points to be guaranteed to start the first 5 races for 2010. And this car right here was sitting on the bubble 35th in owner points.
Yeah, he's got a lot of damage. You see now he's getting more. That tire right front explodes now, makes a big mess. But he had a good cushion on that 35th coming in here, so it's going to take Scott Speed's team. That's the only one that can pass him. They'll have to have a stellar race today to take advantage of this.
He was still on the lead lap at that time, but that's why he was trying to stay out there that time, as you see the tire come apart and blow the right front fender off this thing.
This is a big break for Jeff Gordon also. He was really struggling that run. Coming here, get a reset, get some more tires.
See debris all over the racetrack, and there's just pieces of debris off of that tire. Watch it again, just rip the fender off.
This is why you hear the crew chiefs and spotters say, hey, just take it easy, get it back to the pits. Don't let that tire blow out, because when it happens like this, I mean, man, they already had enough damage without this. They were going to be able to maybe bang the fenders out and reset the toe and go back, but now they've got some big problems with that fender.
Yeah, he's finally made it on the pit road, but they're going to have some significant repairs to be done. Now, these guys are waiting to service their cars, and as you heard Rusty say, a lot of adjustments need to be made now because the sun going down, not much sun on the racetrack, and the track really starting to change. Here's Kevin Harvick, Montoya, Burton, Stewart, and all the lead lap cars coming down at 45 miles an hour. Vince.
Well, when crew chief Alan Gustafson met with his crew today before this race, he said one thing we got to do is let it all hang out and be perfect in the process. So that means no mistakes on pit road. They picked up a spot for the 5 car last time, but they need to make a track bar adjustment and air pressure. He's plowing the center. Shannon?
Harvick needs more rear grip. They're going to go up on the track bar 4 tires. Dave?
And Tony Stewart had a car that came to him late in the run. They'll make an air pressure adjustment for him. Jimmy Johnson's car was a little bit snug in the center of the corner. Air pressure adjustment as well. He had to come around Kurt Busch, who was already on pit road and lost a little bit of grip in that right rear. Kurt having a good stop, but Kevin Harvick is going to be the winner on this round of pit stops.
Very close between the 31 and the 14, and Burton will get it by just inches over Tony Stewart.
Yeah, we heard Bob Osborne say he would do whatever it took to win this race. Took 2 tires right there, gained 17 spots.
Well, the race-off was very close, and the drivers know, but you got to be really careful, I guess, DJ, and resist the urge not to speed.
Yeah, you have to really be careful there because these lines are in different places, and you have to be extremely careful.
under caution for the second time today. Back in a moment.